Alright, so last month we got a brand new Alien movie. I have finally watched the entire franchise, excluding the Alien vs. Predator movies because I had no intention on watching those movies. Here is my ranking. Before I get started, please make sure to subscribe, like button, hit the bell, and comment down below what is your ranking of the Alien movies. For some reason, this is a franchise that took so long for me to watch, where I started it at the beginning of the month, and it wasn't until a couple weeks ago that I finally finished it, and I don't know why. I don't think it's a bad franchise. The worst movie in the franchise is a 3-star movie for me. I just couldn't really get into it as much as I do with other franchises, and I think it's because a lot of them are long and old and kind of draggy a little bit. Where do I rank the films? I will get into that right here. Before I do, again, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and comment down below what is your opinion on the Alien movies. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started with number 7, Alien Resurrection. Now this is definitely the black sheep of the franchise. And once we get into the back half of the movie, I think that it's more entertaining than some other ones. I think that the underwater alien sequence is great. The aliens are definitely shown more than they do. The aliens are very prominent from the very beginning. You see them. The movie is lighted pretty well. You see the aliens in a nice light. I like that part. The hybrid, I didn't totally hate, and the movie's a 3-star movie. It's entertaining, it's fine, it's a fine movie. I didn't hate it. In a franchise that would have a bad movie, this would not be the last place, but it definitely has some issues. And when I say it's the black sheep of the franchise, it's probably the weirdest one in the franchise, because not once do I think it's a good idea to bring Ripley back after the ending of Alien 3. We'll talk about that movie here in a minute, but I don't think you should be bringing her back, especially in a way where you make her a clone that can literally smell the aliens. We're getting weird scenes where she's walking up and all of a sudden she's stopping. She goes, "I smell aliens," and it is really weird. Weird. I don't think a single part that Ripley was in needed to be in here. I don't think that she needed to be in this movie. Our main cast of characters, they're basically like makeshift Guardians of the Galaxy or Guardians of the Galaxy from Wish. They're very weird. Very much in the beginning, there's like this whole espionage plot and nothing makes sense. You have the characters fighting with each other, and then like they go ham and just start murdering the crew members for some reason. Ron Perlman is in this movie, and he is a blast. That's easily the best thing I can say about this movie is Ron Perlman's in it, and he's great. But there are so many weird plot lines, weird stuff that this movie decides to tackle, and there's plot lines that the movie tackles, and then just completely forgets about it later on in the movie. We get a whole sequence where Ripley goes into the laboratory, and there's these things with the alien hybrids inside. And I was thinking, yeah, the hybrid out of that is going to pop up later in the movie. No. All of a sudden we get the Queen Alien, and like that whole idea there was completely disregarded. And it's just a very weird movie like that, where almost all the plot lines are just kind of jumbled and completely forgotten. But there is some enjoyable moments about this movie. I don't hate the movie, but it easily, for me, is the weakest one. In 6th place, I'm going with Alien Prometheus, or as people just call it, Prometheus. I was very excited to check out Prometheus and Covenant in this Alien franchise. They're 2 movies that I've been wanting to check out for a long time now, and so I finally got to check them out. And this one is just so frustrating to me, because if this was not a part of the Alien franchise, I think that this movie would be a fantastic sci-fi movie. If the movie didn't tether itself to like the xenomorphs and everything like that, I think this would be a very good movie. But because of that, every constant idea, I was just trying to tether, like, how does that make sense in the Alien franchise? There are so many constantly good ideas in here about, okay, how is the universe created? What are these big, bald, muscular aliens doing? And so many cool ideas with that. but we never fully get it tethered to the other Alien movies. A big flaw of that is I was constantly waiting for the Xenomorph to show up, and it doesn't. The alien that makes this franchise so popular is not in this movie. So many cool ideas are in here. The third act is fantastic with all the ideas, and the creature stuff would make for a fantastic sci-fi movie. But as an Alien movie, constantly, the thought in my head was, where are the Xenomorphs? How does this tie back to Alien? What is actually going on? And once we get to Covenant, some things kind of make sense. They kind of work. We'll talk about Covenant here in a little bit. But for me, it's just that Covenant was everything that Prometheus wasn't. What Prometheus was is a movie that sets up everything, but never fully establishes or finishes anything to connect it to the other movies. Once we get to Covenant, it kind of explains a little bit about the other movies and gives some answers to the questions that were asked here. But this movie is all questions and very cool, very fun third act, but also frustrating because you're constantly thinking, yeah, okay, is a Xenomorph gonna pop up here? Or why is this in the Alien franchise? And so, with that thought in the back of my head, this movie was very disappointing, but there were still aspects that I enjoyed, and Covenant did make this movie much better. Fifth place for me is going to be Alien 3. Kind of a hot take, but I think that this one is the most overhated Alien movie, and one of the most overhated movies in general. I really enjoyed this movie. I think that it had enough stuff in the Alien franchise to make it fresh and new outside of Alien and Aliens, where Alien is just a claustrophobic sci-fi thriller and Aliens is a action movie. This one is kind of a different kind of claustrophobic sci-fi thriller, where they're all inside one prison camp. They find ways to make it like, oh, okay, you're thinking about how to get out this way? Yeah. Here's an excuse of why it can't happen. It always thinks that it traps these characters in this area with no weapons, and I think that's kind of cool. The third act, another very fun Alien third act where people are just getting picked off one by one. I think Ripley's ending is actually really fantastic, where she has to kill herself to prevent this thing that she hates. Or she has to live. Let me try to explain this. She has to live with herself while she's becoming the thing that she hates, and her character arc that's established in the ending there, and the way that she kills herself, I think is very cool. Other things here, again, I think that the whole idea of Ripley being pregnant with an alien was very cool. Just so many unique ideas, and this one was one of the more entertaining earlier Alien movies for me. Do I think it was a good idea to kill off Newt and whatever the other guy's name, I can't remember right now, it's late. No, especially off screen. It erases the happy ending of Aliens. But as someone who didn't grow up with Aliens, as someone who doesn't have the emotional tetherment to Aliens, I didn't hate this movie, and I found that it had enough unique stuff to propel it above some of the other ones. In fourth place, I'm going with Alien, and I know this is a hot take again to have Alien this low, but I do quite like the movie. I don't think it's a bad movie whatsoever. This movie has a vibe. It takes all of these characters, and they're characters that we like. I liked watching these characters on screen, and even though they don't have any character development or anything, they were fun characters. They were fun people to hang out with, and it takes them, puts them on the ship where they have no help, no nothing, and introduces the Xenomorph, who is a fantastic alien creature, and just has fun with the claustrophobic feeling of things. The Xenomorph design, fantastic. I actually have this thing right here that I am going to showcase if I can lift it up without dropping my other action figures. I meant to put this in the studio before this, but I do have this. That's pretty awesome. I'm actually gonna, I don't have room, but I'm gonna put them in the studio soon. Anyways, the creature design is great. Our characters, again, fun to hang out with. And when we get to the beginning of the movie, it's slow. It establishes everything that it needs to establish, and then by the time we get to the back half of the film, it's just the alien killing off the people one by one by one. The problem that I have with both of Alien and Aliens is that there is so many long establishing shots. If you know me, I hate those where it's the camera with nothing. Like, we're seeing down the hall, down the hall, down the hall. For some people, that could be immersive. That could be a great way of bringing you into this movie. For me, it's just like, it makes me tired. Oh my god, we need to finish the scene, bring it on and on and on. I don't like that. And so, like, by the time we got to the end, I was just a little out of the movie, especially with that last scene that I thought it was over, and then it just kept going on and on. But that doesn't matter. It's still a nice claustrophobic thriller. Great killing sequences, great alien design, fun characters, and I do think that this movie has probably the best jump scare I've ever seen. I literally screamed. It was 12:30 in the morning, and I screamed and woke my entire house up because it freaked me out. Good movie. Before I share my top 3, make sure to go down below, hit the subscribe button if you want to. We are about 30 away from 250. While you're down there, hit the like button, hit the bell so you never miss another Zachary Movie Chat video. And comment down below what is your ranking of the Alien movies. I'm seeing Beetlejuice tomorrow, so stay tuned for a review of Beetlejuice in the coming days. And with that said, number 3, I'm going with Aliens. This is a movie that is quite like the original, except that it's a different kind of version of that movie. This movie is a classic, directed by a fantastic director, and has all of the positives that that original movie did. Also has the same negative, the long establishing shots, and the movie running for a little bit too long. But it does what James Cameron does best, and especially where James Cameron did like Terminator. Terminator is kind of like a slasher movie, and then turns T2 into an action movie. This turned a horror thriller into a horror action movie, and I do really, really enjoy this movie. The one thing that I think really stands out is the way that James Cameron is able to use all the weaknesses and strengths of the alien, where so many times in the movie an alien will get shot and its acid blood will just spray in you. Besides Alien Romulus, this is like the best that's ever done. The characters, as good as the characters in Alien was, the characters in this movie were even better. They were just a fun bunch to hang around with. Newt was a nice addition with Ripley, and their character arc together I think was a nice addition, and the movie's just more fun. More aliens equals more fun. You see aliens just get shotting up. You get to see aliens just get shot up. Very fun, very entertaining movie. And then, like, even in the end, you get like the Queen alien. While I do think that the movie runs a bit too long, that final fight with the Queen alien was really, really awesome. So I do really enjoy this movie. I thought that it was a little bit better than the original movie. So I am an Aliens person over an Alien person. I do think both movies are good, have the same strengths, and have the same weakness. Again, the long establishing shots made me a little bit tired in the middle of the movie. Both movies I did fall asleep in the middle of and took it back up first thing in the morning. But yeah, I do enjoy Aliens just a little bit more than Alien. Number 2, I'm going with Alien Romulus, the brand new movie. I get why some people can hate this movie, because they brought back a dead actor to play a character that they could have just made it any other character. For me, I get that it's disrespectful. I didn't like that part. It obviously could have been any other alien, but I didn't let that ruin the movie experience for me. This by far, I think, is the most entertaining Alien movie out of them all. Constantly, near the back half of the movie, you have so many aliens, and it's just constantly going and going and going and going and going, following these characters running from the aliens. It's constantly entertaining. The cast here is fantastic. The standout David Johnson as our main android here, I think he's fantastic. Has a nice dynamic with what he does here in the movie. The alien designs are great. We can have great set pieces like the acid flying through space and having to use the shotguns to avoid it. It was a really cool sequence. Near the end of the movie, it can get really messed up with the hybrid thing. Obviously, the hybrid in Alien Resurrection. This one's kind of different. At first, in the theater, I was like, oh, okay, that's disturbing, but I've seen crazier. Seeing like the clips of that on Twitter, it comes back to my brain like, holy crap, they actually did that. They actually did that, and it was awesome. So I really had a lot of fun with this movie. I think that this will be the most easily rewatchable Alien movie when it comes out on 4K. I'm going to buy it and probably rewatch it right then and there because it's a movie that just constantly keeps you on the run, has so many new unique dynamics into this franchise, does what Fede Alvarez does best inside of a horror franchise. Same thing he did best with the Evil Dead remake. He does best here. So I had a ton of fun with this movie. I really enjoyed it, and it's almost number one. But number one for me, I'm going with Alien Covenant, the one movie that is a 10 out of 10 movie for me. I love this movie, and I think it's because everything that I was looking forward to in Prometheus was discovered here. Every question that was asked during Prometheus was answered here. You want to know how the aliens were made? Okay, that's unique. You want to know what happens to David, the android that's played by Michael Fassbender? Okay, it answers it here. And all that while just being a thriller movie, an entertaining thriller movie where all these characters, lively characters, are on this planet with xenomorphs, get that, xenomorphs attacking them. And it's very fun, it's very entertaining, has some thrilling moments here, and every time that we go back trying to establish this long lore inside of the Alien franchise, what that does here, I really did enjoy that part, and actually didn't hate it. I like the answers here, and this film's cinematography and scope is fantastic. There were sequences that my jaw was on the floor. I remember the one where they go into the planet and it's like explored in the flashback that they murdered all of the alien people. I get that that was off screen. I get that people hated that, but I think that the scope and size of that was awesome. So went back to the alien roots, made it a fun alien movie with xenomorphs attacking people, entertaining, and also answered the questions that I had after Prometheus. And I think that this is everything I wanted Prometheus to be, and I get that's an unpopular opinion. I get that I'm going to get some hate for this ranking, but I think that it is my personal favorite Alien movie. What is your ranking of the Alien movies? Again, I want to know all that down below. While you're down there, subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell so you never miss another ranking like this. Stay tuned for my Beetlejuice review tomorrow. Several other videos are coming out. I got an August ranking, and then the September, or not September, but the summer movie tier list coming out very soon. Also, go check out my second channel, More ZMC. I'm doing football content over there. I already posted my week 1 predictions today. Right now, as I'm filming, this is Sunday, right after a great Sunday night football game. So I'm going to have reactions also out there. So thank you guys for clicking on this video. And with that said, subscribe, join the Army. Peace out.